we heard about the summary of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, significance of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and then the summary of Bhagavad Gita. Once. And then first chapter, second chapter, third chapter, fourth chapter, fifth chapter, sixth chapter, seventh chapter, eighth chapter, ninth chapter, 10th chapter, 11th chapter, 12th chapter, 13th chapter, 14th chapter, 15th chapter, and today we will hear about the 16th chapter. 16th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Gita Upanishad. So in the first chapter, Arjuna said, Krishna, I'm sorry, I cannot fight this war, Krishna. I have these reasons. Second chapter, after Krishna took prapatti of Bhagavan, Lord Shri Krishna, Lord Krishna said, Arjuna, no. You got to fight. You got to go on. And these are the reasons. And you got to do it like a Nishkama Karma Yogi. And then Bhagavan starts to speak about Nishkama Karma Yoga for all of us. That's second chapter, and then third chapter, and then fifth chapter. Fourth chapter is about transcendental knowledge. And in the fifth chapter, at the end of the fifth chapter, Lord Krishna starts explaining about how to attain the transcendental state, Gunatita Sthiti. And in that context, Lord Krishna explains about Ashtanga Yoga, the way, one of those ways of attaining Gunatita Sthiti is transcendental placement beyond the modes. And there we heard about the comparison of Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. At the end of the Ashtanga Yoga, Lord Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesham matkaterantaratmanam Shraddhavan bhajate yomam samyuktattamo mataham. So whoever meditates upon me in the core of their heart, and that yogi is the best. So Bhakti Yoga is the best. So the Lord starts explaining about himself very mercifully. Bhagavan speaks about Bhagavad Tattva from the 7th chapter on. Bhagavad Tattva, Jiva Tattva, the 4 kinds of mentalities that bring us towards Bhagavan, the 4 kinds of mentalities that take the jivas away from Bhagavan, the demigod worship, the impersonal worship, 7th chapter. And the twin of the 7th chapter is the 9th chapter. And in the 9th chapter, at the end, the glories of Krishna Bhakti that we have heard. And 8th chapter is about Prayana Kale, a matter with a lot of gravity. Prayana Kale, 8th chapter. Then the 10th chapter is Samagra. Lord Krishna speaks how he is the cause of all causes and everything that exists is from him, right? And the 4 shlokas, Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita, is present in the 10th chapter. After that, when Arjuna asks about different kind of vibhutis that the Lord has in this Bhautika Jagat, material world, the Lord enumerates all of them very beautifully. The first one is, Arjuna, I am present as Paramatma in this Jagat. So my Paramatma is my vibhuti, to be with all the Jivatmas. That's a super excellent vibhuti of Bhagavan. Very merciful vibhuti of Bhagavan, to be with the Jiva. So like that, we heard in the 10th chapter all the vibhutis, and in the 11th chapter, the same vibhutis and much more were shown to Arjuna in the form of Vishwarupa. So we heard there about the description of Vishwarupa, who were in the Vishwarupa, who had the darshan of Vishwarupa, and the Kalarupa aspect of the Vishwarupa, and Arjuna's reaction after having darshan of Vishwarupa and his prayers. And then that, after that, brings to the 12th chapter where Arjuna asks these questions. Bhagavan, Krishna, would you please tell me if the impersonal way of worship or the personal way of worship, which one is better? Then the Lord says that the personal worship to the personal form of Param Satyam, with Rupa Guna Leela is Sreshta, that is Uttama. That is perfect. And then after that, the Lord describes about the ladder that takes different jivas to the Lord. And the last section of the 12th chapter was about the dear qualities, the qualities that are dear to Lord Krishna. Those were enumerated in the 12th chapter. Done, very wonderful. Now 13th chapter is about the 6 fundamental questions that any yoga or any philosophy has to address. Those 6 fundamental questions: Kshetrajna, Kshetra, Purusha, Prakriti, Jnana, Jnaya, and Jnana Chakshu that were covered in the 13th chapter. And enumeration of each of them. About the Prakriti is Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, 3 modes that was described in the 14th chapter. And next comes Purushottama Yoga, 15th chapter, that is the Parama Purusha, and the Kshetrajna that is present in the bodies of all living entities. So about that Parama Purusha is the Purushottama Yoga, 15th chapter. That's what we have heard in the last week, dear devotees, Purushottama Yoga. And today, 16th chapter is Daiva Asura Sampatti Vibhaga Yoga. Daiva Asura Sampatti Vibhaga Yoga, the divine and demoniac natures, divine and demoniac qualities. So we will enter into that subject matter today. So today we will hear about what are these. Actually, we will hear about who is a demon and who is a divine personality. That we will hear. And after that, we will hear about the tattva of these, the demoniac and divine qualities. What do they mean? Where do they arise from? What is the knowledge, tattva behind this? And that we will hear. So tattva of the Daiva Asura Sampatti. And after that, of course, we will hear how Lord Krishna very beautifully explains about the divine qualities. The divine qualities was explained only in 3 shlokas, first 3 shlokas. But very wonderful. We will hear about that. But rest of all the shlokas, up until 20 shlokas are about description of the demoniac nature. So that also we will hear. And then what are those 3 gates for hell and how to not go to those doors to hell. So that's the last point, 3 gates for hell and how to follow the scriptures that we will hear. So that's our plan for today, dear devotees. I'm going to open the PowerPoint so we can get to the 16th chapter. Actually, even before opening the PowerPoint, we'll understand this topic, the divine and demoniac nature. We want to understand it in a way that we could relate to, understand it better, and relate to it. So, for that reason, demon and demigod, or demoniac personality and divine personality, right? So, what makes a jiva demon? What makes a jiva demigod? What is the difference? Say if we take Hiranyakashipu, we brand him as a typical demon, Hiranyakashipu or Ravana, right? So Hiranyakashipu, he was very austere. His tapasya was na bhuto na bhavishyati, unheard. He did so much tapasya that only the bones were left. His bones were left, and the prana, the life was just in the bone marrow of his bones. Such severe tapasya, austerity. He has that austerity. He had it. And he spoke Bhagavad Gita also. Hiranyakashipu. When Hiranyaksha was killed, to pacify all the family members, Hiranyakashipu spoke spiritual knowledge. He does know he does know the Adhyatmika Jnana. Wow. So he knows that. He spoke Gita also, the science of the soul, and he was austere and charity. These demons are very well known for charity, like Ravana and Hiranyakashipu also. Yes, they have charity too. And physical beauty. We are used to seeing in the movies when they say demon, they put two horns in there, but that's not the case. These Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, most handsome men. So they have this physical beauty also. Physical beauty, charity, austerity, scholarliness, chandas, Vedic knowledge. They have it all. More than our Indra, who is a typical representative of demigod. So they have all these qualities, more than what Indra do. So what makes this Hiranyakashipu a demon, Indra a demigod? One single distinguishing feature, quality is that Hiranyakashipu did not consider Lord Vishnu as the authority. He wanted to kill Vishnu. He just considered Lord Vishnu as one of the demigods, and he wanted to take the place of Vishnu. So demons means they don't accept the authority of Lord Vishnu. Demigods means they accept the authority of Lord Vishnu. So demons don't accept the authority of the Lord and they oppose the Lord. Demigods accept the authority of the Lord and they cooperate with the Lord. That's all. That is the only distinguishing feature, main distinguishing feature, where somebody is called a demon or a devotee or a demigod. Okay, that's the point. And here we hear about this. Okay, then when I hear this, I will think, so then I am a devotee. If not demon, I'm a devotee, right? All those who don't accept God are like demons. It means whoever is not accepting Lord Krishna or Vishnu or did not take up bhakti, then they are demons. But we all kind of fall in the category of demigod or divine personalities because I am accepting Krishna as the Supreme Lord. Is that the case with me? Not really. I may look like I'm accepting the authority of the Lord. I may speak about the Lord. I may dress up as a devotee of the Lord. But in the core of my heart, am I accepting the authority of the Lord? If I am accepting the authority of the Lord, I let him be the controller. And I will not whine, I will not complain, I will not be angry, I will not be resentful to whatever he does. Because he is the supreme controller, he is the Lord. So if I am whining, if I am complaining, if I am angry, if I am bitter, it is just different ways of, I don't agree with what you're doing, my Lord. Not my Lord. I don't agree with what you're doing, Krishna. That's why I'm upset. So that subtle opposition of, not letting be the supreme control, and let him do what he likes to do, that tendency is always there. Yeah. So in that way, that subtle opposition for the Lord to be the Supreme Lord is always there. So in that way, I'm a devotee in the guise, a demon in the guise of a devotee. When it comes to the subtle aspect, if I'm not happily agreeing with the Lord's plan and let him be the supreme controller, what good reason do I have not to glorify him? Right? If I'm accepting him as my Lord, What good reason do I have not to glorify him? And if I am not really enthused to glorify him, there is that subtle nature inside. Yeah. So that's just something to think of. The acharyas, they really dwell into this aspect. That's where all those bhajans spring from. That's where all the dainya bhava springs from. Very wonderful, actually. In our case, under the influence of Rajoguna, when we get a little deeper into these aspects, if it feels like, oh my God, it is being too much harsh upon me, I'm already sinking, and do I have to think like this? No, then you don't have to think like that. If it is if it is augmenting our tamoguna, then no, we are not ready for that dainya bhava yet. This take that acharyas take in bhajans, the dainya bhava, is past the modes, past the sattva guna. It is ecstatic and brings them so much closer to the Lord in their bhajan. So that is the dainya bhava. That's about the demon and demigod quality definition, right? And now we can about this chapter, demonic and divine qualities, the tattva behind this. After we hear this, then we can hear Sri Bhagavan Vacha. So, when we hear Srila Prabhupada in his classes and in his writing, when he says all this is a demoniac civilization, all these people are like demons. What does that mean? Why is Acharya saying so? If Acharya is saying, it is very apt. So we want to understand what this demonic nature means and divine nature means. See, the jiva, the consciousness, as we heard before, this is in Taittiriya Upanishad. The chitta of a jiva, consciousness of the jiva. You know, when the flower is in the form of a bud, when even the bud is also not there, the consciousness in the very beginning, it is avritta chetana, completely covered. Like trees and plants, they don't even know they are existing. Avritta chetana. That is, consciousness is so covered, densely covered. And then the consciousness a little bit thinned out, not densely covered, but little bit thinned out is Avritta Chetana and Sankuchita Avritta Chetana, Sankuchita Chetana, Mukulita Chetana. Yeah, Sankuchita Chetana. Second one is Sankuchita Chetana. Is shrunken consciousness. Avritta is covered consciousness. Trees and plants, they have it. They don't even know that they are living. Sankuchita Chetana is the animals. They have this restricted consciousness. They only know that they live. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Okay, that's all they can do. And then comes Mukulita Chetana, budding consciousness. That human beings, they belong to these categories. Mukulita Chetana, budding consciousness. Next is Vikasita Chetana, blossoming consciousness. Purna Vikasita Chetana is completely blossomed consciousness. So the human beings, they fall into these three categories. Mukulita, Vikasita, Purna Vikasita. Actually, this day and age, we will hear, when we hear this Bhagavad Gita, we will see that most human beings now in this Kali Yuga, they do fall in Sankuchita Chetana, animal consciousness too. We will hear that too. So this is the blossoming of the consciousness, like that. When the consciousness is in the lower modes is here is Sankuchita Chetana, which is like animalistic, very restricted consciousness. And then Mukulita Chetana. These two are lower consciousness, ignorance and passion. Consciousness in the lower modes. What happens is, when the consciousness in the lower modes means, it is very self-centered, very narrow-minded, self-centered, tunneled. So when the consciousness is so restricted to self-centeredness, then these qualities of ignorance and passion are exhibited. These qualities of ignorance and passion are called demoniac qualities. So demoniac qualities means those qualities that are exhibited when the consciousness is so shrunken and restricted and self-centered. Those qualities are called demoniac qualities. Yeah. And those qualities that are exhibited when the consciousness starts to blossom, vikasita chetana, sattva, godly qualities, demigod qualities, sattva qualities. Sura sampatti, the qualities of the demigods, is vikasita chetana. Purna vikasita chetana, completely blossomed, pure devotees. Complete dependence on Krishna. This is one thing that is distinguishing between a demigod and a pure devotee. There are many things that are distinguishing, but this is the main thing. Complete dependence on the Lord. Purna vikasita chetana. Then they are in Vishuddha Sattva. All these pure devotees, they are like the sameness of the Lord in Vishuddha Sattva. That is Purna vikasita chetana. Like that. So here in this chapter, we are going to hear about Vikasita Chetana, the qualities of the demigod in the Sattva. So these are Sura Sampatti. These are the qualities of the demigods that we will hear in the first 3 chapters. What are those qualities? And in the rest of the shlokas, the Lord will explain about the qualities in the lower modes, demonic qualities in the ignorance and the passion. So this is the overview of what we are going to hear. Now, we will hear about the qualities of the demigod. Yeah, so I'm going to open this. Yes, dear devotees. Parthasarathi Krishna, Bhakta Vatsala Krishna, with the Jiva, back home, back to God. So, Gita Pravaham. And now we are in the 16th chapter. Yeah. Daivasura Sampat Vibhaga Yoga. So what are those qualities of the demigods? Shri Bhagavan Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhe Jnana Yoga Vyavastitihi Danam Damascha Yajnascha Swatyayasta Parachavam Ahimsa Satyam Akrodhas Tyaga Shantera Paishunam Daya Bhuteshwalo Luktvam Matavam Hrira Chapalam Teja Kshama Dhriti Shaucham Adroho Natimanita Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Abhijatasya Bharata. O Bharata, king of Bharata, one belonging to the dynasty of Bharata. O Arjuna, the Lord is speaking, Bhagavan Vacha. These are all the qualities in the divine nature, qualities of the demigod or the divine nature. So in these 3 shlokas, the Lord is enumerating different qualities here. And Srila Prabhupada very nicely explains in his purports. Srila Bhaktivedanta purports. So these qualities here, dear devotees, they are actually pertaining to different divisions of Varnashrama Vibhaga. Different Varnas, different Ashramas. So what qualities are pertinent to who? Which Varna, which Ashrama? That we will know now. And when we come to know these qualities, we will know those qualities that are pertaining to us also. All of these, they are pertaining to us for our bhakti. But specifically here, this is spoken by Bhagavan because this is more like a guide and directive for different varnas and ashramas. Abhayam sattva samshuddhir jnana yoga vyavastitihi danam damascha yajnascha swadhyayastapa archava. Abhayam, fearlessness. Sattva samshuddhir, purifying one's existence. Jnana yoga vyavastitihi, situated in the knowledge that links to the supreme truth. These three qualities is especially for sannyasis. Srila Prabhupada explains, abhayam, fearlessness. Fearlessness comes when someone is totally dependent on the Lord in the heart, Paramatma. Even if a person is alone in a dense jungle, Srila Prabhupada explains, he is fearless because he always knows that the Paramatma in the heart is with him, watching him, and provides what he needs. Total dependence on the Lord in the heart. Fearlessness. And one cannot be a sannyasi without this quality of fearlessness, complete dependence on the Lord. And second one is sattva samshuddhir, purifying one's existence. Purified, external purification, keeping the body clean, and internal purification, always in association with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And the thoughts clean for sannyasis, internal purification, especially for them. Any thoughts about women, any thoughts about the lust, even the thought is also prohibited. So that is internal cleanliness. Free of lust and always associating with the Lord. Internal cleanliness and external cleanliness. Jnana yoga vyavastitihi. The sannyasis, their dharma is to impart this transcendental knowledge to all the grahasthas like us who are so much buried in the bodily concept and are easily bothered. So that's why when the sannyasis speak, they speak from a different platform. They do really speak from a different platform because they are not attached to the bodily concept. So this is to wake us up and to pick us up from a bodily platform and place us on that transcendental platform, on the platform of soul, spiritual platform. So that is the dharma of the sannyasi. Very compassionate dharma of a sannyasi is to pick us up, all of us conditioned souls who are in this bodily concept, and to pick us up from this platform and place us on spiritual platform. Jnana yoga vyavastiti. These are the three qualities of a sannyasi, explains Srila Prabhupada. We also hear from our Gurujana that for somebody to be sannyasi, like Nitya Sannyasi, Lord Krishna explains in 5th chapter, all of us can be Nitya Sannyasi internally, male or female, whatever physical body we might be in. External sannyasa, renunciation, may not be possible based on what varna and ashrama we are in. but internal sannyasi is possible. Actually, the path of Gauranga Mahaprabhu is a beautiful internal sannyasi pathway, saintly pathway. Total dependence on the Lord, internal cleanliness, always with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti. And when we are internally clean with the Lord, with Guru and Krishna, then that is automatically Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti for us. So this is pertinent to all of us too, to be a Nitya Sannyasi. Yeah. And next one, Danam Damascha Yajnascha. Danam Damascha Yajnascha. To be able to do the charity, Danam Damascha, sense control. So where is the provision for sense gratification? In Grihasthashram. So that's where there is need for sense control. So Danam, charity, Damascha is sense control, Yajnascha, to do the yajna, and to do the sacrifices, they need dravya. Dravya is money. Yeah, they have to buy all the ingredients needed for yajna. These three things are for the grihasthas. To give the charity, to sponsor, to buy the stuff for yajna so the brahmanas can do the yajna, and damas, sense control. These are for the grihasthas, dear devotees. Most of us, all of us are grihasthas here. Danam, damascha, yajnascha. In this day and age, yajnair, sankirtana yajna. So, grihasthas contributing to the propagation of Krishna Bhakti to awaken the soul. For that purpose, doing the danam, and for that purpose, doing the yajna. And of course, the senses are for Rishikesha, for the satisfaction of the Lord of the senses. So that's about the householders, grihasthas. Swadhyayas tapa arjavam. Swadhyayas is for brahmacharis, because initial part of the life where there is a lot of capacity for the retention, for knowledge and retention is brahmacharya. Swadhyaya is scriptural study, more for brahmacharyas, but it holds good for all of us too. Tapa, arjavam. Tapa is austerity. Arjavam is simplicity. This is for everybody. Austerity and simplicity. Lord, our Srila Prabhupada says, whatever varna may be, whatever ashrama may be, without austerity, there is no spiritual progress. Arjavam, simplicity, is a great necessity. And this also, Srila Prabhupada says, straightforward. Straightforward thought and talk, with no crookedness. Simplicity. For all the varnas, for all the ashramas. If that is not there, it causes mental health problems. If there is no simplicity. So that is for all of us. Tapa, arjavam, for all the varnas and ashrams. And next. Ahimsa satyam akrodas tyaga shantir apaishunam. Ahimsa, non-violence. Satyam, truthfulness. Akrodas is free from anger. Non-violence, satyam, free from anger. Tyaga, sacrifice. Shantir, peace, peaceful. Apaishunam, this aversion to fault finding. This is for everybody. Everybody. And here ahimsa, Srila Prabhupada says, ahimsa means to non-violence. Non-violence means not stopping the progressive evolution of a jiva is ahimsa. It means if we are killing an animal, we are stopping its natural evolution and natural journey towards the Lord. So ahimsa means when somebody abruptly stops the natural journey of a soul, that is ahimsa. And satyam, truthfulness. And here Srila Prabhupada says, this truthfulness is sometimes needs to be guided by the superior authorities. And it should be in favor of the welfare of the people. Akrodas is free from anger. Tyaga, sacrifice, shantir, peace, apaishanam. No fault finding. Good. Then next, daya bhuteshu aloluptva. Daya bhuteshu. Daya is compassion. Daya bhuteshu is compassion for all the living entities. And aloluptvam is again a freedom from covetousness, very similar to arjavam, simplicity. Then mardavam, hrir achapalam. Mardavam is modesty. Mardavam, gentleness. Hrir is modesty. Achapalam is there is no chapala, steady determination. And that is especially required for spiritual journey. Achapalam. Next one. Teja kshama dhriti shaucham adroho nati manita bhavanti sampadam daivim abhijatasya bharata. Teja, vigor. This is for kshatriyas. Teja, kshama, dhriti. These three. Vigor, kshama. Forgiveness. If the enemy asks for the forgiveness, then forgiving them. Teja is the shauryam, vigor. And dhriti, determination. Fortitude, determination. All these are for kshatriyas. Shaucham is cleanliness. And shaucham adroho nati manita. This is for sudras. That's what is explained in the purport. Because this is pertaining to Daivi Varnashrama Dharma. Why shaucham and adroha nati manita is for shudras? Right now, everybody is a shudra in Kali Yuga. But in Varnashrama Dharma, shudras, they are more for manual labor for the rest of the classes of the society. So being clean and not expecting honor from the other classes of the society. Those are the qualities that a person in Sudra order are expected to have. So these qualities, bhavanti sampadam daivim abhijatasya bharata. So these qualities, when we see them in different varnas and ashramas accordingly, then it is to be known that that particular person is situated in the mode of goodness in that particular varna and ashrama. So all the human beings in different varna and ashrama, for them this is a guideline to be able to have these qualities. So they can be in sattva in their varna and ashrama. That's divine nature. And we also heard how these qualities, especially few of those are very much pertinent for us. Okay. Now, next thing is, that's about, what did we hear? These are the qualities in divine nature. This is Vikasita Chetana, divine, in the mode of goodness, sattva. Next comes those qualities in the lower modes, demoniac. Dambo darpo abhimanascha krodha parushyameva cha ajnanam cha abhijatasya partha sampadam asurim. Oh Partha, this is the sampada of the asuras. This is the wealth of the demons. Really? Wealth? What is that wealth? What are the qualities? Dambam, dharpam, abhimanash, krodha, paurusham, and ajnanam. We have heard about the ornaments of a sadhu. Titikshava karunikaha suhrudo sarvadehinam ajata shatrava shantaha sadhava sadhu bhushanam. Bhushanam of a sadhu, we have heard that. Very wonderful. Lord Kapila said that. Here, Sampadam Ashurim. This is a wealth of the Asuras. As we read this out, dear devotees, from now on, when we hear about this demoniac qualities, demoniac nature, like that, this is more, we will know that this is a typical description of this age of darkness, Kali Yuga. And we will see how the Lord, when he's saying, this is Asura, this is demoniac, we will see how much it is just a norm in our day-to-day life now. It's just natural. It's just the norm. Here, the Lord is saying, this is Asura, qualities of the Asura, demons. That's what the Bhagavad Gita says. And here in Kali Yuga, we just live and think as if this is our norm. And this is why Kali Yuga is called the age of darkness. So when we, rest of all the shlokas, when we hear that, two things. One is, we will see how Bhagavan is describing the Kali Yuga. And second thing is, for our sake, when these qualities are being described, thought pattern is being described, we can check ourselves. And if any of what we have is matching with what Bhagavan is saying, then we can offer a prayer. Bhagavan, please, this is Asura, this is Asura quality. Would you please? That's why the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Bhagavan came down as Kalikala Nama Rupe Krishna Avatara to kill all those asuric qualities in us. So when we hear those, any of those qualities matching within us, then Hare Krishna. Then we just pray to Nam Prabhu. And when we see that we are not too bad as being described here, then we want to say, oh, thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Prabhupada. Somehow you pulled us out of that mess. So in that way, there is some relevance to whatever is being described here. Now, and after describing what the demoniac nature means, what the sampada of demons, wealth of demons is, pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. Match. Is there anything that in me matching there with what is being said? Ah, Krishna. So at least for us to identify that these are not something very pleasing and these are of a lower nature. We cannot just go ourselves, climb the ladder to Vikasita Chetana, Purna Vikasita Chetana. No. We pray and we serve in the light of the Shastra, and then these things will gradually go away. The pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness. And as we heard this morning, those are all the qualities because of hard-heartedness. A heart under the influence of ignorance and passion is hard. Heart is hard. Yeah. And when it is hard, these are the natural qualities of that heart. And the Hare Krishna Mahamantra that is brought by Gauranga Mahaprabhu is specifically to soften our heart. So, after enumerating these characteristic features, prime qualities of a demoniac nature, what is the Lord saying? Daivi sampada vimokshaya nibaddaya surimata nibandaya surimata mashucha sampadam daivim abhijatasya pandavam. Daivi sampada vimokshaya. Lord has described this Daivi Sampada, divine qualities. They will lead to Vimokshaya, liberation. They are conducive to liberation. Because just next to Sattva is liberation. Past the liberation is Vishuddha Sattva. So that's why the Daivi qualities, the qualities in Sattva, are very conducive to liberation. When the consciousness is expanding, we get liberated from all the limitations and the conditioning we have had before. Yeah, that's the qualities of the Sattva. Then Nibandaya Asuri Mata. Those qualities that are there in the passion and ignorance lower modes, they bind the jiva, entangle within the modes. Those qualities. They don't let the jiva come towards the liberation. So, and then Ma Shucha Sampadam Daivi. Oh Pandava, oh Arjuna. Now Arjuna is starting to feel, oh my God, so these are divine qualities, these are demonic qualities. What do I have? As we are trying to match here to see what we have, Arjuna is thinking, which category do I fall in? Then Lord Krishna is saying, no, don't worry. Arjuna, Mashucha, you have divine qualities. So it's okay. Masucha Sampadim Daivin, Abhijatasya Pandava. So Pandava, you have, or son of Pandu, you have divine qualities. So you don't worry. And then now, dear devotees, these are the different shades of demoniac nature. We just gave headings here because otherwise, from top to bottom, it just says demoniac nature. We want to see the shades of demoniac nature. So when we look around, when we watch a movie, then we will see what Bhagavad Gita is saying. When we hear a philosopher or a scientist speaking something, then we will hear what Bhagavad Gita is saying, like that. So what's the first one? Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidur asuraha na shaucham napi chacharo na satyam teshu vidyate na shaucham napi chacharo. We are just taking an example, so we will get the most out of these shlokas. You know, a typical movie hero. Oh my goodness, even the word hero, to such a person who is pravritrimcha nivritrimcha, who doesn't know what to do, what not to do. Janana vidur asuraha na shaucham, there is no cleanliness. Napi chacharo, yeah, there is no proper behavior. Na satyam, there is no truthfulness. Na satyam teshu vidyate, there is no truthfulness. These are all the qualities. And if we, any movie, any social media, anywhere, who are being applauded now? What is being applauded on the big screen now? What are the qualities that are being applauded? Do they really know? Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha. They don't know what to do, what not to do. But this is the age of Kali. And in this age of Kali, not only this has become the norm, I'm saying typical example is how these characters are being called as heroes in the movies and how they have no single good quality. And they are called heroes. It's not only accepted as a norm, but is applauded. Pravrittim cha, nivrittim cha, na shaucham, na pichacharo, there's no proper behavior, na satyam. Everything unwanted is there, still he's called as hero and he's applauded. Welcome to Kali Yuga. Asatyam apratishtam te jagadahur aneshwaram अपरस्पर संभूतं किमन्यत् कामहैतुकम् एतां दृष्टिम् अवष्टभ्य नष्टात्मनो अल्पबुद्धयः प्रभवन्ति उग्रकर्माणः क्षयाय जगतो हिताः. Next one, a typical example. Srila Prabhupada also takes this. The scientists, the modern scientists. Asatyam apratishtamte jagadahur aneshwaram. Who says, oh, this world is just atoms, combination of atoms. There is nothing real about this world. Jagadahur aneshwaram, aneshwaram. There's no concept of God here. There's nothing about God here. And this is just combination of the atoms. And this is unreal. Aparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kama hetukam. If it is only the union of the ovum and the sperm that gives birth to a baby. That's all. Kimanyat kama hetukam. It's just the union of two, ovum and sperm, and then the embryo is formed. That's all. What about the soul? There's no subject matter of soul. What about the Ishvara? There's no subject matter of Ishvara. Etam drishtim avashtabhya. In this way, with this drishti, with this understanding and vision, what do they do? Nashta atmano, these lost souls. Nashta atmano, these lost souls, they are lost. Alpa buddhaya, very little intelligence means no intelligence. These are great propositions of the science. Atoms and molecules, then the embryology comes, different divisions of the science comes, all of them. Is there really any intelligence at all? Alpa buddhaya. Little intelligence means no intelligence. What do they do with this alpa buddhi? Prabhavanti ugra karmanaha. They engage in ugra karmanaha, horrible works. Ugra karmanaha. What is the result of those works? Shayaya, jagato ahitaha, destructive and inauspicious to the world, like nuclear bombs, Srila Prabhupada says in the purport. With this kind of thinking, where there is no place for the soul, no place for the Lord, and just equating everything just to the atoms and molecules, with this kind of drishti, vision, and the intelligence polluted by this kind of vision, which is alpa buddhaya, they come up with this with ugra karmana. Their activities are the product of their thought leads to destructive activities, like the nuclear bombs. Now we know why Srila Prabhupada called this is demoniac. They are demons. Why is the Acharya calling like this? Only he can call. That is his adhikar. He can call anybody demon. He can call anybody rascal. He is the Acharya. We are just understanding why the Acharya is saying that. But when we speak the people around, then we will have to be mindful of our adhikara and see that what we speak with them is conducive for their spirituality. Yeah, that we have to just keep that in mind, our adhikara. Okay, that's next one. Here, dear devotees, you see demoniac sense gratification. That's the heading. Then we wonder, really, is there any divine sense gratification? No. Sense gratification is demoniac. That's a scriptural statement. But it is put like that there because whenever we see that there is a lot of sense gratification going on, then this can remind us, oof, this is demoniac sense gratification. Demoniac means lower modes. Lower modes means it will entangle me in these lower modes. Oh, I need to get away from this. For that sake, it is worded like that there. Demoniac sense gratification. I think it's so much apt to call it as miserably entangling sense gratification. Like we give an example, just a simple example. A very yummy dessert, say gulab jamun. Okay. Somebody offers us 5 gulab jamuns. 5 gulab jamuns? I want to eat them all. But so many calories. Miserable. It's sweet, but bitter. Okay, just imagine. Not just one gulab jamun, it's so yummy. We ate all 5 of them. Now the question, okay? Imagine we already ate those 5 gulab jamuns. How are you feeling now? Are you very happy? I knew I was a little happy when I was eating this few minutes, but now I feel like 5 gulab jamuns, these many calories, when am I going to burn? Now the misery is starting. So did we enjoy it or are we miserable? This is the entangling sense gratification. So, yes, it is. It can be called as demonic sense gratification, but very aptly entangling sense gratification, miserably entangling sense gratification. Okay. So, what did the Lord say? Kamam ashritya dushpuram dambamana madanvitaha mohat grihitva satgrahan Pravaran, pravartante ashuchivrataha. So, this is about sense gratification, where the whole life is for sense gratification, dear devotees. When spirituality is not a priority, but sense gratification is a priority. Really? Not having spirituality is a priority, does it mean sense gratification is a priority? Let's check and see. If spirituality is not a priority, it means this body and mind is a priority. Then what does that mean? Body with the senses, mind with the senses. Sense gratification is a priority if spirituality is not the priority. Kamam ashritya dushpuram. Insatiable lust. If we take a typical example, this is a typical example for all those for whom spirituality is not a priority. How does their day go? What is their priority? The whole day is spent in how to earn the money and how to enjoy. How to enjoy? Earning money is also for enjoyment, okay? The whole thing is how to enjoy, how to enjoy, how to enjoy. The whole day is how to enjoy. The whole day after day, the whole life is how to enjoy. How to enjoy with this body, how to eat, what to see. All about enjoyment. The whole life. As if the life is just meant for enjoyment. Enjoyment of what? Senses. Animals are also doing that. So this kind of kamam ashritya dushpuram, insatiable lust. We think insatiable lust. If these days are not, the day in and day out, when the whole day is just spent chasing after enjoyment, the whole day, every day, and the whole life, chasing for the enjoyment, what is it if it is not kamamashritya dushpuram, insatiable lust? Right? So, with this goal of enjoyment day after day, dambam, manam, madanvita, mohat, grihitva, asat grihan. So, attracted by the impermanence. Asat grahan, which asat is, which is not sat, which is impermanent, this body, sense gratification. So, attracted by this impermanent enjoyment, asat grahan, and with insatiable lust, yes, with this insatiable lust, what is the mentality in pursuit of this enjoyment day after day? Pride, false prestige, and of course, mohat, illusion. Illusion because they think this human life is meant for only sense gratification. Great illusion. So all the dealings that happen in pursuit of this enjoyment are filled with damba, mana, madanvita, pride, false prestige, and conceit. This is a typical living of Kali Yuga. For those who don't have spirituality as priority, this is a typical living of Kali Yuga. Chintam aparimeyam cha pralayantam upashritaha kamopabhoga parama etavat iti nischitaha. So in this way, with insatiable lust, wanting to enjoy, all the thoughts are how to enjoy. The whole upper chamber is filled with how to enjoy. So chintam aparimeyam cha. With this chinta, aparimeyam cha pralayantam upashritaha. With this with this pursuit for enjoyment, they're always filled with anxiety, immeasurable anxiety. Chintam aparimeyam, immeasurable anxiety. And kamopabhaga parama etavat iti nischitaha. Because they're believing gratifying senses is the prime necessity. My day, this life, my job, the whole day is just to think, to see how I can enjoy. Because their goal is for enjoyment, their anxieties are immeasurable, packaged here. Enjoying tendency in it is an inherent quality called anxiety. They go together. So, like this, with this insatiable lust, they have this immeasurable anxiety. Pralayantam upashritaha, until the end of their life. How unfortunate is that life? How unfortunate is that thought? So caught up, right? Every day they are caught up like that. Pralayantam, the whole life spent in chasing for enjoyment and burning in anxiety. Chasing for enjoyment, burning in anxiety. The whole life. Asha pasha shatair baddhaha kama krodha parayanaha ihante kama bhogatam anyenartha sanchayan. Asha pasha shatair baddhaha. Shatair baddhaha. Hundreds and thousands. Asha pasha. They are bound with this mentality of enjoyment. They are bound with hundreds and thousands of desires, absorbed in the kama, lust, in the krodha, anger. Yeah. Ihante kama bhogartham anyena artha sanchayan. Their lust or enjoying propensity is so much, not only that they're spending their life just in the pursuit of, in the chasing of this enjoyment, but they don't hesitate to take up illegal means also for the enjoyment that they're looking for. Where is this going, huh? Right? So, no wonder this is called demoniac nature, right? But we see around in Kali Yuga, and this is all considered so normal. And competition for this. And whoever excels in all of this, applaud for them. Such an unfortunate situation in Kali Yuga. And here, dear devotees, please see, these are the words of the Bhagavan. Only the translation is put here to bring it to our attention. The demonic way of thinking. The Lord is speaking, huh? The demonic person thinks So much wealth do I have today, and I'll gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future. More and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him. And my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. And the karma kand is now. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. That's Sri Bhagavan Vacha in English. When we break it down, look at that tendency. Accumulating tendency. Where is the simple living? Accumulating. We spend our days so much to accumulate money, accumulate food, accumulate. The tendency of accumulating, dear devotees. Defending in the duality. Anybody that I think would be harmful to me or comes in my way, I want to kick them out. See, I want to remove them. Defending mentality. Yes, on a physical plane, defending mentality is there. But please make a note of on a psychological plane of defending. Why would there be arguments if there is no defending mentality? This is why in the Vaishnava qualities, Trinadapi Sunichena is instructed. In that, there is no defending mentality. Defending mentality is born out of passion. At a gross level, defending mentality is physical defense. Animals do that, humans do that. That is understandable, right? I mean, for us, understandable. For the sadhus, they don't even have the defending mentality, so they don't even have the attacks. And even if they have the attacks, they are not hurt. All the sadhus in the Himalayas, they don't have defending mentality, even physically also. That's why there are no enemies for them, even to hurt them physically. These are the depths of the defending mentality. But so our point here is at least the defending mentality in our thinking. What is it that we want to prove? What is it that we want to defend? In Vaishnava culture, defending mentality is not so much encouraged. If somebody is blaming a true Vaishnava, they will have so much of fortitude in them. They don't care for the blame. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and there, Srivas Thakur, somebody puts all that black magic paraphernalia in front of his house and making everybody believe that Srivas Thakur performs black magic. Srivas Thakur, did he do anything about it? When he opened the door and he looked at all that paraphernalia there with the hair and with all those things they do for the black magic thing, he did not even remove them and from the front of his house. He did not. Srivas Thakur. He was not concerned about what people would think of him. He thought, okay, that's fine. Let people think that I'm doing a black magic. They don't have to think anything high about me. I don't have to defend this. That naturally comes. That naturally comes. In Vikasita Cheta, Purna Vikasita Chetana, there is no defending mentality. Okay. And the next one is usurping and competing. These are very typical in Kali Yuga because it is filled with passion and ignorance. But just to make note that usurping and competing mentality for us devotees, if that tendency is there for us, then we will have to know that that will entangle us in the lower modes. So we don't usurp, we give. We don't compete, we appreciate. Like that. And next one. Okay, it's getting there. Then what is Bhagavan saying? Aneka chitta vibranta mohajala samavritaha prasaktaha kama bhogeshu patanti narake ashuchau. So, after describing this, all this demonic way of thinking, the Lord is saying, Aneka chitta vibranta. Vibranta is so totally bewildered with all this kind of thinking. Moha jala samavrataha. They are caught up in the network of illusion. Prakashataha kama bhogeshu patanti narake ashucho. With this desire, kama bhogeshu, intense, insatiable lust, patanti anarake ashucho, they glide to hell. So sense enjoyment is a miserable network, and insatiable lust glides one to the hell. Next comes ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodam cha samashritaha mam atma paradeheshu pradvishanto abhyasuyakaha. This is a good one, dear devotees. Very good. There is something for us to learn here too. Here Bhagavan is saying, ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodam cha samashritaha. With the false ego, false ego and balam, their strength, darpam, their pride, kamam, lust, krodam, anger, with all these things, what do? What are these qualities doing? If somebody has these qualities, darpam, kamam, krodam, anger, lust, false ego, what does it do? It will lead to mam atma paradeheshu pradvishanto apyasuyakaha. It will lead to envy. That's why the whole package deal. Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. Which one is the most densest one and most subtlest one? It's matsarya that comes at the end, envy. Because envy has all this. Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada. Everything is embedded within that envy and very subtle. Okay, after all this, envy. Envy for who? Envy on who? Mam atma paradeheshu. Mom, envy towards me, says Bhagavan. We think we are envious to people around us. But Bhagavan is saying, no. Hear what I say, says Bhagavan. Mom, atma paradeheshu. Envious, pradvishanto apyasuyaka is envious and then blaspheme me, who is present in their own self and in the bodies of other living entities. Paramatma. Envious to own self? When we are envious to Bhagavan, Bhagavan is present within our hearts and in the heart of all living entities. That is why envy is miserable. When we have envy for other beings, like Srila Raghunath Das Goswami says, it is like a burning in the urine, not just regular urine, donkey urine, which is the most acidic. It means feeling misery. Why so much misery? Because we are hurting the Lord that is present in our heart and in others' heart. We may think we are envious to the other person, but we are actually envious to the Lord. And that's why the envy, for the roots of the envy to go away, for the roots of the envy to go away, because the envy is towards the Bhagavan. It just reflects on the people around. And what can be done? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. following the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Trinadapi sunichena taroreva sahishnuna amanina amanadena kirtaniya sada hari. Always chanting Hare Krishna. Total remedy, unfailing remedy for the envy to be uprooted. Yeah, because the envy towards the Bhagavan is being uprooted, then the envy for other living entities all automatically will go away. Next. So Bhagavan is continuing. This is the last two shlokas of what happens to these demons. They envy me, they blaspheme. They envy me who is sitting in their heart and in the heart of all the living entities. They envy me and they blaspheme me. And tan aham dvishtah kruran samsareshu naradhamam kshipami ajashram ashubhan asurishva asurishveva yonishu. So in this way, who are so thick with these qualities of lower modes, who are almost irreparable, them I just cast them into the demonic species of life. And then Lord says, Asurim yonim apanna mudas janmani janmani mam aprapyaiva kaunteya tato yanti adamam gatim. Is it true? Is Bhagavan saying this? Bhagavan is so merciful. And how is it that he is saying, Mam aprapyaiva kaunteya? Oh Kaunteya, Arjuna, Mam aprapyaiva. They will not get me. They will not obtain me. I will put them in the lowest of the species, in the demonic species. And they will just sink down to abominable types of existence. Tato yanti adam gatim, adak gatim. Their destination is hellish. Abominable type. What? Bhagavan, are you not Karuna Samudra? What are these words, Bhagavan? You seem to be very angry, huh? That you are saying that you perpetually cast them into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species. And these are lowest of among men. And they go repeated. They take repeated birth and death in different species of demonic life, and they will never attain me. They will gradually sink down. Bhagavan is sounding like that, right? But Bhagavan is Karuna Samudra. He's sounding like that. But what is the truth? What is the reality here? The Jiva is so much not wanting Bhagavan here. Jiva is wanting the sense gratification so much that it is ready to do illegal things and demoniac behavior and then head to destruction. So Jiva is wanting sense gratification and want to be entangled in this lower modes of species so much. But what can Bhagavan do? Free will of the Jiva. So be it, if that's what you are looking for. If you want to be in such lower modes of ignorance and passion, even the human body is not suitable for you. Okay, just go into the animal species. There they are very much suitable for you. You become a lion or tiger or something. There you can be as violent as possible. So like that. So Bhagavan is sounding like this, but it's the law of the nature. According to the Jiva's desire, they get the body. So that's about the destination of demons. And the last one. After explaining the demonic nature, now it is clear. Bhagavan is saying, what is it? What are those three things that are responsible for a Jiva to be perpetually casted into the ocean of material existence in the lowest amongst the species? What are those three things? Trividham narakasyedam dvaram nashanam Kama krodastadha lobhas tasmat etatrayam tyaje. Etair vimuktah kaunteya tamodvaraistribirnaraham acharati atmana shreyas tato yati param gatim. Bhagwan's voice is softened a little bit here. He says, Arjuna, yes. So now you see it, right? These are the ones. Trividam narakasyedam dvarama nashanam atmanaha. For the atma nashanam, for the destruction of the soul, there are three gates to hell. I am warning you about these three gates to hell. For us, dear devotees, if we see anytime we are kind of knocking on those three gates to hell, what are those? Kama, krodha, tada, lobhas. Lust, anger, greed. Greed is, I want more, I want more, I want more. Krodha, anger. Kama, lust, wanting things of this world. So, we are a little in a fortunate, blessed place that we have this shelter of devotion. But in general, so these three are the three gates to hell: Kama, Krodha, and greed. And they cause Nashanam of Atma. Atma is what? Satchitananda. It is supposed to be in the spiritual realm. And what an unfortunate situation that because of this Kama, Krodha, Lobha, it's gliding to hell. Nashanam of Atma. So, Eitair Vimuktah Kaunteya. So, Kaunteya, whoever is Vimukta of these three, whoever escapes these three gates, don't knock on those three gates. Whoever does not knock on those three gates to hell, then Acharati Atmana Shreyas. It is very Shreyas for Atma. Atma, for the self-realization. Tato Yanti Param Gatim. So whoever does not knock on these three doors to hell, then they will be placed in a more conducive state for self-realization, and they'll be able to reach Param Gatim, the transcendental place, supreme destination. So that's why Bhagavan says, Ya Shastra Vidhim Ustrijya Vartate Kamakaratah Na sa siddhim avapnoti na sukham na param gatim tasma shastram pramanam te karya karya vyavastitav jnatva shastra vidhanoktam karma kartum iharhasi. So that's why, Arjuna, O Kaunteya, do not disregard scriptural injunctions. So for us, the point is, scriptures are there for us to guide us in the spiritual journey. That's why follow the scriptural injunctions. Follow the rules and regulations. That is in the best interest of the soul. And in this way, the soul will be gradually elevated, says Bhagavan. So this is Daivasura Sampatta Vibhaga Yoga. What did we hear today, dear devotees? So far we heard about the distinguishing characteristic between the demon and the demigod. Demon is opposing the Lord, do not accept the authority of the Lord, and opposes the Lord. Demigod is accepts the authority of the Lord and cooperates with the Lord. That we heard. And then the tattva behind this demoniac and divine qualities. How the chitta, starting from Avritta Chetana to Purna Vikasita Chetana, as the chitta consciousness blossoms, then these qualities come out from different states of that consciousness. The lower states are Sankuchita Chetana and Mukulita Chetana, which is ignorance and passion. And blossoming consciousness is Vikasita Chetana, that is Sattva. The divine qualities are from that blossoming consciousness. And the demonic qualities are from the lower modes, that is Sankuchita and Mukulita Chetana, passion and ignorance. That is the tattva behind the qualities, demonic qualities and divine qualities. After that, we heard about the divine qualities. And especially for us, those three that are for sannyasis, they can be inculcated in all of us too. Abhayam, Sattva Samshuddhir, Jnana Yoga, Vyavastitaha. And the rest of the qualities also we have heard. And after that, the demonic qualities, and how Lord Krishna assures that Arjuna has the divine qualities, so don't worry, Arjuna. And after that, of course, we heard about different shades of this demonic nature. A typical Kali Yuga, a Kali Yuga so-called hero, and then the scientist who does not accept the soul or Ishvara that we have heard. And yeah, how the sense gratification comes with the package deal of anxiety. They go together. And how the enjoying mentality, how a typical day and a typical life in this Kali Yuga is just spent chasing after enjoyment and burning with anxiety. And the demonic way of thinking and accumulating, defending, usurping, and competing. That's the thinking in the lower modes. And envy towards the Lord reflects as envy towards all that we have heard. And the complete remedy, unfailing remedy for the envy to be uprooted is the Harinama brought by Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And the destination of the demons. Because the jivas are wanting to be entangled in the lower mode so much, they go into the lower species. And these 3 gates to hell, avoid knocking on these 3 gates to hell, that is lust, anger, and greed. And in this way, one will be able to attain Paramgati, supreme destination, if those 3 things are avoided. And so take the help of the scriptures that guide you towards Paramgati, supreme destination. That's all, dear devotees.